here, but I actually started my day in meetings in Cleveland, so I'm working my way home today. 13 years now, I've been a judge in Butler County at the Court of Common Pleas Domestic Relations Court. 26 years ago, I'll say that again, 26 years ago, I was a police officer in the city of Hamilton. I had put myself through college. I have a degree in social work, and that degree and my love of the law when I was 10 years old led me to the police department. At the police department, I learned some fundamental things about the law. And in working with judges and lawyers, I realized I wanted to exceed my own expectation, and I left the police department and put myself through law school. When I say I put myself through school, there was no government, there were no loans. He did it by working nights, days, full times, a couple of jobs, whatever he had to do to pay the bills. When I graduated law school, what's really typical for my county is you hang out a shingle. So I understand what it's like to run a private practice because I solved the community's problems one family at a time. So when I got out of law school, hung out my shingle, of course one thing that I had going for me is I've been a law enforcement officer within my community, so I got a lot of cases through my policing contacts. And also the judges trusted me, so I got a lot of court appointments to get me started. Along those ways, I fell in love with politics because my parents, while they always voted, very staunch Americans, you always vote, people died to give you that right, my parents were not political. You know, my mom and dad were raising 6 kids, keeping jobs, just trying to keep food on the table, roof over our heads, that they didn't really engage like all of you do. I started involved in politics because of the judge I clerked for. When I was in law school, in order to put food on my table, I stayed at the police department for a year and then clerked for a judge for 2 years. That led me to politics, and one great thing happens. You meet lots of good people when you campaign. You develop long-lasting friendships in politics because you have a common good that has carried me through, and I met Speaker John Boehner. I worked on some of his congressional races during that time. He sent me to my first campaign school that led me to grassroots campaigning for others, eventually myself. I wasn't a governor's appointment. I wasn't an open seat. 13 years ago when I won the seat I am currently in, I fought an incumbent Democrat. He had been a judge for 12 years. It was the race that could not be won because the Republicans had tried twice to unseat him and everyone failed. And as I told my party chairman, I can beat this guy. You have to understand, I have the energy, the drive, the determination to do this because that's what's gotten me through my entire life. You see a problem, you shoulder through it. That's led me on to my final journey, my American dream. If anybody would have said a working class girl from a family could make it to the Ohio Supreme Court when I was in high school, I would say that is not possible. But I am here to say the American dream lives today, despite the problems that we see in this country. It lives. I am living proof of the American dream. So in 2012, I hope to be back here as your endorsed Republican candidate for the Ohio Supreme Court to run against Strickland's appointee. Again, my name is Sharon Kennedy from Butler County, Ohio. Thank you so much.